Today we're filming a video on something a little bit different. Instead of hunting, we're showing you guys how we like to prepare some of our game. Today I got some goose breasts here. I've already cut some up, prepped a couple more, took all the silver skin, the fat, any blood clots out, and we're going to slice this up to make some jerky. I'm actually going to dehydrate a batch and I'm going to smoke a batch, and we'll show you guys how the process I go through to do that. So as you can see, this breast has lost quite a bit of meat off it due to some poor shooting, some blood clots we had to cut out of there. But basically you want to take your breasts and you want to clean them down till they're something that you'd want to eat in a pan. You want them to be all clear of any silver skin, any blood clots, anything basically, any fat, anything basically that you wouldn't want to throw in a pan and eat the way it is. That's how you're going to come up with the best jerky possible. So this breast here, you kind of look as you go through it, the grains of the breast change. As you're going down, they turn this way. So I'm going to take this breast and I'm going to cut it kind of right where the grain changes. And that's how I'm going to slice it. Do the same with this one. See the grain starts to swirl, cut it right about there. And then I'm going to take these slices and I'm going to cut them into about 1/4 inch with the grain. Because remember, when you're making jerky, quite a bit of it's going to shrink up when it's cooked. So you want to cut them a little bit thicker than you think you'd want it, just because when it shrinks up, it's going to be a lot smaller than you thought it would be. So I'm going to do about 1/4 inch slices. And you can see kind of through it, no blood clots, none of that silver skin left, and the grain's kind of going with you. So if you make sure you cut it with the grain, you'll make it a little bit tenderer. Alright, so we got all the goose breasts chopped up here into 1/4 inch slices. We got about 4 pounds, give or take a little bit, in the pan. Now I'm going to walk you guys through all the spices I'm going to add and all the liquids I'm going to add, and then we're going to put it in the fridge and let it marinate for 24 hours before we put it in the smoker. So we'll start off with 2 tablespoons of black pepper. And usually you can mix this all into a bowl and pour it on later. I just pour it in and mix it all up with my hands afterwards. So we got the pepper. We're gonna do 2 tablespoons. Oh, sorry, that's rocking the half here. Cut it down just a bit. Garlic powder. And we're going to add 1/4 teaspoon cayenne. Sorry, I didn't have the right one out. Quarter teaspoon of chili powder. This is just going to give it a little bit of spice. You're going to see once we get into the liquids that it's really not going to be that spicy. Let's add a little more. We got a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of onion powder. Sorry, it's a lot to remember, so I gotta keep referring back to the list here. And then we got our teriyaki marinade. try to pour it all over, just makes it easier to mix it up after. Soy sauce. Tabasco. Let's get that out of there. We're just gonna freewheel the Tabasco because that thing gets in the way. 1, 2. And that's 2 tablespoons. Put half a cup of beer. Some water. And a tablespoon of minced garlic. Just rinse that off real quick. That's pretty much it. Now I'm going to take it all, I'm going to mix it really thoroughly, get everything evenly coated, get all the spices and the marinades mixed together. I'm going to cover it up, I'm going to put it in the fridge for 24 hours. Once I take it out of the fridge, I'm going to hang it on the racks for about an hour, put it back in the fridge, let it all drip dry so it's not too moist when it goes in the smoker and then the part that's going in the dehydrator. Then we're going to see which one turns out better, so stay tuned. Okay, we got the goose jerky drying on the racks now. It's been going for about half an hour. Give it about 10 more minutes. Then I'm going to throw half onto the dehydrator and half onto the smoker. I'll keep you guys posted. So since I'm cooking 2 batches, trying to taste test if it's better on the smoker or better on the dehydrator, I just used the Traeger instead of my stand-up smoker just because I didn't need as much space. It's about -5 here. It's set to 180. It's kind of struggling a bit. I might have to turn it up a bit, but we're gonna let this smoke for 5 to 8 hours. This will be the smoked batch, and then we'll compare it to the trays that are currently on the dehydrator. See which one works out better. All right, so here we have the batch that I'm trying in the dehydrator. Gonna do low and slow. See if it turns out any better than the stuff on the smoker. Here's the 3-hour point on the Traeger. It's coming along really nice. So, it's about halfway done. Maybe a little more than halfway done. Still pretty soft. Yeah, keep you guys posted. So we're about 3 hours into the dehydrating process. See how it's coming along. I like to about every hour, hour and a half, take the trays out and rotate them. Heating element and the fan are at the back, so you can rotate them to get a more even cook. Yeah, these will probably go for about another hour at 160, and then I'll turn it down to about maybe 130 for the last about 3-4 hours. And we'll show you guys what it looks like at the end. Alright, we're 4 hours in. I've already tried a couple of the thinner pieces, and this stuff is basically done. It's still got nice flex to it, some of the thicker pieces, some of the thinner ones, nothing's cracking yet, so it's not overcooked. We'll let it go probably for another half an hour, and then we should be good. Okay, we got the finished product here. This is the jerky out of the dehydrator. Turned out pretty good. And this is the stuff that came off the Traeger. They both turned out really good, but the stuff off the Traeger is definitely the winner. It's definitely a lot better. That smoke flavor gives it a lot better taste. But either way, they're both good. We'll probably have the recipe up for you guys. If you like it, check it out.